God sees every betrayal and will bring justice in His time, and this is not just a promise written on ancient pages. It is the heartbeat of a God who cannot lie, a God who does not overlook the tears you shed in the darkness, a God who knows the weight of that wound that was never healed by an apology, the silent ache that others ignored, but He never ignores, He never turns His face away from your pain, because He is the righteous judge, and He has declared that vengeance belongs to Him and He will repay. And this is not man's repayment, it is not fueled by anger or bitterness, it is holy justice wrapped in divine timing. It is God saying to you, "Be still and know that I am God." Because when you are still, you give Him room to work, and when you step back, He steps in, and when you surrender the need to prove yourself, He becomes your proof, and when you let go of the urge to fight back, He becomes your defender, and that is why you must not let betrayal define you, because the one who sees all, hears all, and knows all is already writing a story where justice flows like a river, where those who thought they buried you will see you bloom, where those who mocked you will watch your rising and tremble because the hand of the Lord has done it, and when God does it, no man can undo it, no enemy can reverse it, no accuser can silence it, and this is why you cannot allow bitterness to poison your soul, because God's timing requires your trust, and trust means you keep walking even when it feels like the storm will never end. Trust means you believe that even the valley of shadows will lead to green pastures. Trust means that the betrayal that was meant to break you will become the very tool God uses to make you. And you need to understand that the pain you are in is not wasted. Not a single tear falls without His notice. Not a single injustice escapes His attention. He has written it all down. He has stored your tears in His bottle. And He is preparing a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Not behind their back but in their presence, so that they will know that God is God. So that they will know that His favor cannot be stopped by their schemes. So that they will know that the one they wounded is the one He lifts. The one they counted out is the one He crowns. The one they rejected is the one He restores. Because He is a God who specializes in reversals. He is a God who turns the last into first, the broken into blessed, the forgotten into favored. And when you think about Joseph betrayed by his brothers, sold for silver, left for dead in a pit, abandoned in a prison, but what they meant for evil, God turned for good, and the same God who raised Joseph to a throne is the same God who has not forgotten your name, has not forgotten your faithfulness, has not forgotten your silent prayers when no one else saw. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and if He did it then, He will do it now. Because His character does not change, His promises do not fail, and His power does not diminish. So even when the pain feels unbearable, even when the betrayal feels like a knife in your soul, even when your heart screams for revenge, choose to release it into His hands, because He has already seen the end from the beginning. He has already designed the victory long before the attack came, and every weapon formed against you will not prosper, every tongue that rises in judgment will be condemned, and every enemy that rises against you will stumble and fall, because the Lord is your light and your salvation, the Lord is the strength of your life, and if God be for you, who can be against you? And when He rises to act, the proud will bow, the liars will be silenced, the betrayers will see the weight of their actions, and they will know that touching you was a mistake, because you are the apple of His eye, and He does not sit idly when His children are wounded, He does not remain silent when His beloved is broken. He moves in ways unseen, He works in ways unknown, and while they laugh now, a day will come when the laughter will freeze on their lips as they watch you walk into a season they thought you'd never see, a season where your scars shine as testimonies, a season where your name carries honor, a season where everything they tried to destroy becomes the very thing God uses to elevate you. And that is why you must not lose heart, because God is not blind, He is not deaf, and He is not slow, His timing is perfect, and His justice is sure, and when He moves, He does not whisper, He roars, and when He lifts you, no man can pull you down, and when He vindicates you, no false story can erase your truth, because the King of Glory has stepped into your battle, and that battle is no longer yours, it is the Lord's. Your pain today will become their regret tomorrow, because the God you serve is a God of justice, a God of order, and a God who never allows evil to have the final word. Every tear you have cried, every sleepless night, every moment when your heart felt crushed under the weight of betrayal, He saw it all and recorded it all, and He is a God who does not ignore what was done to you. He is a righteous judge who keeps perfect records, and those who thought they could harm you without consequence will one day face the reality that touching you was a mistake, because when you belong to God, you are not just an ordinary person, you are his child, and harming you is like touching the apple of his eye. They may think they won, they may boast about what they did, they may laugh in secret places and celebrate your downfall, but heaven does not laugh with them, heaven does not join their party. Heaven is already writing the story of their regret, because the same God who watched them break you is the same God who will break the power of their plans. The same God who saw them push you down will be the same God who will lift you up before their eyes so they can see that you are not forsaken, you are chosen. And you need to understand this truth. Your pain is not permanent, but their regret will be, because when God restores you, when He blesses you beyond what they imagined, they will not be able to hide from the reality that the one they tried to destroy is the one God has crowned with honor. Do not think for a moment that your suffering went unnoticed. Do not believe the lie that God was silent because He did not care, because even in your pain He was present, even when they were plotting He was planning, even when you were crying He was counting every tear, and one day those tears will speak louder than their lies, louder than their schemes, louder than their mockery, because God has declared that those who sow in tears will reap in joy, and your harvest is coming. The same pit they dug for you will be the pit they fall into, the same trap they set for your feet will catch their own, because God will not be mocked. Whatever a man sows, that shall he also reap, and when they reap what they sowed, they will remember you, they will remember the betrayal, they will remember the cruelty, and regret will eat them like a fire they cannot quench. They will look at your life and see that God's hand was on you all along. They will see that their betrayal did not break you, it built you, it positioned you, it prepared you for greater things, and their regret will not come because you took revenge. Their regret will come because God vindicated you, God elevated you, God blessed you in ways they cannot comprehend, and they will have to watch from a distance as the favor they tried to kill flourishes before their eyes. That is why you cannot waste your time trying to explain yourself to people who have already chosen to misunderstand you. You cannot waste your energy trying to fight battles God has already promised to win for you, because every second you spend in bitterness delays the beauty of what God is about to do in your life. You must release it and trust Him, trust that His timing is perfect, trust that His justice will not fail, trust that His word is true when He says vengeance is mine, I will repay, and His repayment is not petty, His repayment is purposeful, His repayment is so undeniable that it leaves no doubt that His hand was in it. And when that day comes, when you walk into the season God prepared for you, you will not even have to say a word, because your life will speak, your success will speak, your peace will speak, your joy will speak, and the very people who thought they buried you will realize they planted a seed, and now the tree has grown, and its branches stretch so wide they cannot ignore it, and regret will be the bitter fruit they taste. Remember Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold as a slave, forgotten in prison, but when God lifted him, He lifted him so high that the same brothers who betrayed him had to bow before him, and what they meant for evil God turned for good. That same God has not changed, He will do it for you, and when He does, they will know it was the Lord. They will know that your pain was not the end of your story. They will know that their betrayal was not the final chapter, because God writes endings that make the enemy ashamed. So hold on, even when it hurts, keep trusting even when you don't understand, keep walking even when the road feels long, because your pain today is shaping your testimony tomorrow, your tears today are watering the seeds of your blessing, your brokenness today is becoming the foundation of your breakthrough, and when the tables turn, as they surely will, the regret they feel will not be a light thing, it will be heavy, it will be undeniable, and it will remind them that touching a child of God has consequences they cannot escape. God turns brokenness into blessings for those who trust Him because He is the only one who can take what was meant to destroy you and make it the very thing that defines your victory. You see, the enemy has one goal when he allows betrayal, heartbreak, or pain into your life. He wants you to quit, he wants you to give up, he wants you to believe that your brokenness is the end. But what the enemy forgets is that every time he tries to break you, he is only creating an opportunity for God to show His glory through your life. God does not waste pain, and He does not allow suffering without purpose. Every shattered dream, every disappointment, every wound that left you feeling like you couldn't go on is the very soil where He begins to plant the seeds of something greater. And the enemy knows that if you ever discover the truth that your brokenness is not a burial but a planting, he loses his power over you. The devil thought the cross was the end for Jesus, but the cross was the doorway to the resurrection, and if God could turn the cross, the symbol of death, shame, and defeat, into the greatest victory in history, what makes you think He can't take your broken pieces and make something glorious out of them? When you trust God with your brokenness, you are placing the fragments of your life into the hands of the potter who knows exactly how to mold you, how to shape you, how to take what others threw away and turn it into a masterpiece. The problem is, most people want the blessing without the breaking, they want the crown without the cross, but in the kingdom of God, breaking always comes before blessing, pruning always comes before fruitfulness, fire always comes before refinement. So if you feel broken right now, if you feel like everything around you is crumbling, don't see it as the end, see it as the beginning of a transformation that will shock those who doubted you and silence those who mocked you, because the same God who allowed the breaking is the same God who will produce the blessing. Look at the life of Job, stripped of everything, broken in ways most of us could never imagine, and yet when the process was over, God restored him with double for his trouble. And that's not just a cute phrase, it is a divine principle. When God allows something to be taken, He always replaces it with something better, something greater, something beyond what you had before. But the key is trust. Trust when you don't understand. Trust when nothing makes sense. Trust when the pain screams louder than your prayers. Because trust is the bridge between brokenness and blessing. When you refuse to let bitterness take root, when you refuse to give in to despair, when you keep saying, "God, I don't know why this happened, but I know you are still good, I know you are still God, and I know you will make a way," that is when heaven begins to move. Your brokenness is not a sign that God has abandoned you, it's a sign that He is preparing to reveal Himself in a way you've never seen before. Sometimes He has to break us to bless us, because if He blessed us in our pride, we would take the credit, but when He blesses us after we've been broken, we know without a doubt that it was Him and only Him. And here's the truth, your brokenness is shaping your testimony. The very thing that made you cry is the same thing that will make you shout for joy when God turns it around. The betrayal that pierced your heart will become the platform for your promotion. The loss that crushed you will become the ladder that lifts you higher. And when people look at you and ask, "How did you survive that? How did you make it through what was designed to destroy you?" you will say, "It was the Lord who carried me, it was the Lord who sustained me, it was the Lord who turned my mourning into dancing." That's why you can't give up in the breaking season, because the breaking is proof that blessing is on the way. You have to see the crushing as the preparation for the oil. Do you know how olive oil is made? The olive must be crushed, pressed, and broken, and only then does the pure oil flow. And that's exactly what God does with us. He allows the crushing, the pressing, the breaking, not to destroy us but to release something greater from within us. The pain is producing power. The tears are watering a harvest. The breaking is birthing something beautiful. The devil wants you to think the breaking is punishment, but in reality, it's positioning. God is positioning you for something bigger than what you lost. You may have lost relationships, opportunities, resources, but what's coming will make you forget the pain of what you left behind, because His word declares that the glory of the latter house shall be greater than the former. And when that glory comes, when that blessing comes, when that breakthrough comes, it will be so overwhelming that you will look back at the nights you thought you wouldn't survive and say, "If it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, where would I be?" So don't despise the breaking. Don't run from the process. Don't curse the season you're in, because the very place of your breaking will become the birthplace of your blessing. The same hands that allowed the storm are the same hands that will calm it. The same God who allowed the valley is the same God who will lift you to the mountain. And when He does, you won't just be blessed. You will be unrecognizable, because He will take the broken pieces of your life and create something so glorious that even your enemies will have to admit that it was God. The breaking is painful, but the blessing will be worth it. The breaking feels like the end, but it is only the beginning of the greatest chapter of your story.